Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Heather Sossaman and I'd like to welcome you back to Pediatric Therapy Essentials. This week we're going to be talking about posture, so stick around. As we all get ready to head back to school, this is a great time of year to talk about posture. Whether we're sitting or standing, it's really important that our bodies be in alignment. So this week we're going to take a look at what good posture is, what poor posture is, and some simple things we can do with kids to improve their posture. To understand good posture, we first have to understand the anatomy of the spine. Now I could geek out on anatomy all day, but I won't bore you with that. The simple version is this. Our spine is made up of specialized bones called vertebrae, and these bones stack on each other to create a column. Within that column is our very precious spinal cord. The vertebrae in this column are divided into sections. There's the cervical section, which is at the top, the thoracic section in the middle, and the lumbar section in our low back. And at the very end, we have our sacrum and our coccyx, otherwise known as the tailbone. The vertebral column is not a perfectly straight column up and down. If you look at it from the side, you can see that it has three small curves in it. And these three natural curves in our spine allow us to distribute our weight more evenly over our feet and improve the way that we walk. We can visualize good standing posture by looking at the body from the side. And if the ear, the shoulder, the hip, the knee, and the ankle all line up, then that means we have good standing posture. It also means that the three curves in our spine are equally balanced, which will allow for efficient movement and limited wear and tear on our spine. When we look at sitting posture, we're looking at things a little bit differently, and we're focusing more on the lower half of the body, because when this part of the body is aligned, then we have a good chance of being able to keep the upper part of our body aligned. So when you talk about sitting posture, you want a 90-90-90 position. And those three 90-degree angles are at the hip, the knee, and the ankle where it meets the floor. So if you're sitting in a chair that's way too big and your legs are swinging back and forth and not on the floor, that's not what we would call good sitting posture. So why do we need to worry about posture in kids? Well, poor posture can have some long-term implications. First off, small issues in posture can become much larger issues when children go through those big growth spurts, especially early in life and during adolescence. And we also need to consider that issues with posture that persist over time can become permanent. Now that we know what good posture is, what poor posture is, and why posture is important, we can talk about some simple ways to improve posture in kids. The first thing we want to do is encourage kids to be active. When children run around and play the way that they're supposed to, their muscles stretch out and get strong naturally. Next, make sure kids aren't spending too much time in front of screens. I know right now that's a challenge for parents because so many of our kids are connected with their friends using technology, and we don't want to limit the little social time they have. But make sure that if they're spending time in front of screens, that they're in a good position. Check the chair and the desk and the places that they're sitting to use their screens and make sure their posture is good. Second, make sure that they take breaks while they're on screens. Set a timer to make sure that they get up and move around every few minutes. Next on the list is backpacks. If your kids are headed back to brick and mortar schools, make sure that their backpacks aren't too heavy and that they fit properly. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that backpacks not weigh any more than 10 to 20% of your child's body weight. And when they wear the backpack, make sure that they pack the heaviest items closest to their back, which keeps it close to their body and decreases the force on their spine. You also want to make sure that the backpack straps are tight and snug, keeping the backpack close to the body. The further away the backpack gets from the body, the more stress and pressure it puts on the spine. And most kids will complain that it's not cool to wear their backpacks like that, but they'll thank you later. Next on my list is kiddos with adaptive equipment. So if your child has a movement limitation that requires them to use a wheelchair or some sort of adaptive seating device, make sure you keep a constant eye on that device to be sure it fits properly. Kids can grow really quickly and all of a sudden that device that fit perfectly suddenly doesn't fit anymore. And if you have concerns about how your device is fitting, reach out to your medical professional, whether that's your PT or your OT or your doctor, to get some help to get it fit right. And the final item on my list is some simple stretches and exercises that can help us with posture. So let's check those out now. Our first group of activities is some simple stretches. Our first stretch is the head tilt. Get in a comfortable standing or sitting position if you use adaptive seating. Slowly lower your ear towards your shoulder. It's really important not to let your opposite shoulder come up. Relax in this position for 15 to 30 seconds and then come back to the middle. Repeat on the other side. Our next stretch is the chin to chest. You're going to start in that comfortable standing or sitting position again. Slowly lower your chin towards your chest and relax in this position for 15 to 30 seconds. Then slowly bring your head back up. Our next activity is the cat and cow yoga pose. To perform this activity, get on the floor on your hands and knees. Slowly round your back up like a cat. While you're rounding your back, tuck your bottom and bring your head down like you're trying to look at your belly button. Slowly come back to the start position. Next, slowly arch your back with your belly moving toward the floor. Gently bring your head up so you can see the sky. Then slowly come back to the start position. Our next stretch is the turtle shell. Begin by laying on the floor on your back. Slowly bring your knees to your chest. Grab your knees and hold the position like a turtle trying to stay in their shell. Then slowly lower your legs back to the floor. For all my friends out there with movement limitations, these adapted stretches might work a little better. All of these activities are performed in the prone position, which just means on your stomach. The first option is to push up onto your extended arms in prone. If that position is still a little tough, try propping on your forearms. This is a great position to play games in and perform activities. And if propping on your forearms is still a little too tough, try using sofa cushions or a wedge to help you stay in the prone position. When positioning this way, be sure the child's upper arm is in front of the cushion or wedge. Let's move on to some strengthening exercises. Our first exercise is the marionette. Begin by standing with your back against the wall. Pretend you have a string attached to the top of your head and someone is pulling up on it. Lift your head toward the ceiling while tucking your chin. When you perform this correctly, the back of your head will touch the wall. Hold for 5 to 10 seconds. This exercise is a very small movement. To adapt this exercise, simply use the headrest of your child's wheelchair instead of the wall. If your child has difficulty performing this movement, use a small stuffed animal behind the upper portion of the back of their head. Tell them to squish the stuffed animal. Next, we're going to play the What Time Is It game. Begin by standing with your back against the wall. Your head, arms, and back of your hands should be touching the wall. Ask your partner to call out times on a clock. Then move your arms to that time while keeping your arms against the wall. To adapt this game, you have a couple of options. If your child has good upper body and arm strength, try this game in a wheelchair or regular chair. Make sure their back stays in contact with the back of the chair during the game. If that's a little bit too difficult, have the child bend their arms at the elbow. Then have them move their elbows to the different times on the clock, or have them imitate a movement you perform. Remember to have them keep their back against the back of the chair during this activity. Our next exercise is the shoulder blade squeeze. Get in a comfortable standing position. Have your partner place their hand on your mid-back between your shoulder blades. Gently squeeze your shoulder blades together, trying to touch their hand. Be sure not to raise your shoulders up during this exercise. Once you get the hang of it, they can remove their hand and you can do it on your own. To adapt the shoulder blade squeeze, have your child sit in their adaptive device. Bring their arms up next to the side of their trunk with their elbows bent. While keeping their back against the backrest, ask them to push their elbows back into the seat. This motion will naturally encourage their shoulder blades to come together. I hope you enjoyed those activities and exercises to help kids improve posture. If you have any other great ideas on posture, please leave them in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you. Just a quick reminder, please check with your medical team before beginning any new exercise regimen and if you have any questions about your child's health. Make sure you check out my website, pediatrictherapyessentials.com, for the full blog post and printables that go along with today's video. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd give it a like. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you know when I have a new video out for you. And if you'd like even more pediatric therapy essentials in your life, please be sure to check us out on social media. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and I hope you have a great week. Bye!